Looky here. No Brent, no guest. Looks like it's just going to be a Haas kind of episode.
Well, I'm here. I can co-host if you need me.
The
But can
fuck?
everyone make...
Nope, 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 no. It's a Haas episode. All right, let's do this. Welcome back to Desperate Radio, where we talk about why work doesn't work. It's got to be a reason. I'm Haas, by the way, and welcome to the show. I started this show last year to talk about why doesn't Agile work, and I can show you the truth and the reality that it does work and how to make it work. I talked about personal stuff. I talked about my personal journey, my professional journey. I brought in some of my good friends to talk about it. One of them had to dip out for a while. The other one's stuck around and comes and goes as he can. So this is obviously my baby, my passion. I love doing this. I haven't done a solo episode in quite some time, at least in this season so far. And I love solo episodes because they're a lot more cathartic. It's like a therapy session for me because I get to say whatever I want to say. Not that ever stopped me before. I get to talk more. I get to have a more personal one-on-one with whoever's listening to me right now. Now, I just want to talk about some of the things that we covered in this season. We covered why Agile is not broken, but it's us that are broken. But in this season, we're talking about like some of the folks that are actually breaking Agile or breaking work, if you will. We talked about how you shouldn't have to wait for someone to come save you. You have the power to actually get better. You have the power to actually make the changes. And I guess this is sort of just me celebrating my 1 year anniversary. And thought it would be a good idea to talk about evolution. The reason I started this show last year is I wanted everyone to know that I ever work with or going to work with or whoever is watching or whoever is struggling and say, oh, there is a better way of doing things. There is a better way of working. Shout out to my friend David Borzello and his podcast, Better Ways of Working. So there are better ways of working, and there are better ways of doing things. It does take time. It takes time and patience and focus, sometimes grit, and sometimes, just sometimes, oftentimes actually, sometimes it's okay for you to shut down for like a day or two or a short while and say, I just need a break. That's what happened to me the last couple of weeks. I just needed a break. I was a little burnt out. I was just not feeling the recording, the posting, the scheduling, the whatever else I was doing. And that's okay. That's okay because I just needed to recharge my battery. So I disconnected from social media, from the world, from the show, from my business, from whatever else I was doing. Focused on family, focused on me. And here I am recording a solo episode. And I get it. Sometimes when you come back, you have to work a little bit harder to make up for some of the time that you've missed. And that's okay. I don't mind. It is what it is. Because I enjoy doing this. I love doing this. I love the work that I do. I love being an Agile coach. I love being an instructor. I love helping people. I love it when I teach somebody something and that light in their eye, it looks like something got turned on in their brain. And now they understand things. And now their lives are getting better. Because I experienced that myself. What I didn't have was the discipline a long time ago to slow down, know when to start, and just push forward when things get tough, or take a break when you need to. And I want to talk about my journey in hopes that you can find a way to emulate what I consider to be success. Last year, I started this show. I just went and set up my camera in my office and I hit record, and it was a horrible episode. Many people say, hey, this was great. I didn't like it. I cringe every time I look at it or watch it. And I watch it just to kind of study myself and see what can I do better. I can point at everything that I did wrong, from camera setup, lighting, microphone, reading the script that was off to the side somewhere. I don't do scripts. I'm looking at just 3 empty monitors right now and a camera. Everybody I interview, I don't do scripts. I do my research and my homework to find out about them, but I don't do scripts. I don't have prepared questions. I like the conversation to lead where it needs to, because I know what I'm doing, but I didn't know what I was doing last year. I invited 2 of my friends to come on the show and help me with my production or putting something together that's funny. And that was fun for me. And it still is till today. Brent comes whenever he can. Sajin, the door is always open for you to come back at any time, my friend. So anybody that wants to co-host, anybody that wants to be on the show, I tell them, hey, let me know and you can come on the show. I've interviewed friends. I've interviewed strangers. I've interviewed really important people. I've interviewed my wife. So all that to tell you that I've gotten better over time. I believe I've gotten better. To me, that's my measurement of success. The fact that I can sit here, hit record, do a full episode, not a single scripted line, just know exactly what I want to talk about, and I will get a single episode right out of this whole thing. There will be some editing. It's not as heavy as before. Gotten a lot better at editing, a lot better at identifying good equipment, lighting, camera, setup. So if you're someone who's waiting for someone else to hand you an opportunity for you to get better, for you to make your life better, for you to make your job better, your work better, your career better, don't. That does not happen. The only person that is going to give you the opportunity is you. The only person that you're doing a disservice by waiting for someone to hand you something is you. I truly enjoy doing this show. I enjoy my business. I enjoy teaching people. I enjoy working with people. I'm an Agile nerd. I love everything about Agile. I like it because it makes sense to me. And you should probably do the same thing. You should do something that makes sense to you. Did I see myself when I was younger to be an Agile expert, a podcast? I didn't think I was going to, people say I'm a podcaster. I don't consider myself a podcaster. But I'm better at this than a lot of other things. I'm better at what I do for a living than a lot of other things. Sure, I wish I was a wrestler. I could have taken down The Rock. Or, I don't know. I don't watch wrestling anymore. I don't know who's out there. But when I was younger, I wanted to be a wrestler. I wanted to be a pilot. I had all these aspirations to be something that was not this. But that doesn't mean I can't apply myself to something that I'm good at. Some things that you're good at are just hiding there in plain sight. And honestly, one of the things I did is that I just give myself an opportunity to absorb the knowledge of whatever I'm doing. It's interesting to me. And I became really good at it. It's kind of like I have a couple of friends who you would never think they would be good at sales or being car salespeople. And they said, I just fell into this job. I don't know how it happened. And I'm really good at it. And I make good money at it. And I do this and I do that. And I say, great. That's great. Sometimes you just have to want to be better at something. Which takes me back to unplugging and saying, I just need a break or something like that. It's important to recognize that you're getting burned out. We covered this last year too in a couple of episodes. It's okay for you to say, I'm burnt out. I need a break. I need a reset. I need to recharge. That's okay. But it's also just as important for you to say, it's time for me to jump back in. Again, I say this from my own personal experience, whether it's my coaching career, my professional services, my podcasting. I took a break for a couple of days, or almost a week, and I needed it. I was getting invited to all these networking events, and I didn't want to go. But then eventually I said, you know what? I'm just going to go. It's the same thing as going to the gym. The other day I said, I'm just going to go. And I pushed myself to try something that I felt like I needed to get out of my funk, and it worked. And here I am, recording again, picking up right where I left off, not missing a beat, in my opinion. Maybe you'll have a different point of view. But I think it's important that we recognize that it's okay for us to take a break and just say, it's time to get back in the game again. Which brings me to my next point. The waiting. I said earlier, you're really doing yourself a disservice by waiting for someone to tell you, here's an opportunity. You're also doing yourself a disservice by waiting for the right opportunity, the right time. Man, let me tell you something. Just do it. Just hit record. Just apply for something. Just sign up for something. Just go to the gym and walk around. Just take a walk around. Just try it. Just try it. The worst thing that can happen, in my case, if I try to do a cold call, the worst that can happen is nobody's going to respond. There's nothing scary about that. The second worst thing is somebody saying no. So what am I really afraid of? Of being rejected? Okay. They don't know me. People don't know you. And it's okay for them to say no to something that they don't know, because I would do the same. Some salesperson comes to my door right now and they want to sell me something. My initial reaction is to say no. It only means that I need to work on myself to be better, to get past that no, or to make sure that my approach doesn't automatically and immediately invoke a no. So that's another challenge I need to overcome. And I know that a lot of us, when we start a business or do a podcast or have social media presence or self-branding or whatever the case may be, we live in an instant gratification world where we need to see results right away. We don't practice patience anymore. I am guilty of it. But in reality, the grassroots movement of whatever you do is so important. Laying down the foundation and the seeds for you to grow whatever you're trying to grow is so important. It really is. And I don't know, maybe first off, I stopped following influencers and business influencers and whatnot on social media and Instagram and LinkedIn and all. The algorithms are going to just overload you, and then you start becoming overwhelmed. I think it's okay to go out and network. I think it's better to go out and network and meet people in your community, meet people in your field, meet people in your area of expertise or area that you want to grow in, and see who's leading in that area. See who are the leaders in your community and ask them for advice. I promise you that there are some out there that would just want to talk to you and tell you exactly what you need to do to get ahead. There will be people out there that are going to want to sell you something. Hey, you want to be better at something? Pay me $2,000. Pay me $5,000. Pay me $6,000. Whatever the case may be. Advice should not cost you anything. I don't charge people for giving them advice. But I do charge people for my service. If you want a certification, and if you want to be taught by one of the best people in the industry, which I do consider myself one of the best people in the industry, I will definitely charge you for that. But advice, I'm never going to charge you for advice. Those are the kind of people that you should look for. The ones that actually want to see you grow, want to see you part of a community, want to see you grow in your community, want to see you succeed. You have genuine interest in seeing you succeed. This goes back to why I started this show, because I love genuine, authentic people. I love genuine, authentic content, and I consider myself to be a genuine, authentic person. Last year, I started this completely alone. No help. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I don't look at anything that I've done in the last year as a failure. And I know this sounds like a cliche. It's not. These cliches came from a genuine place and authenticity. When people say every failure is a lesson or something to that effect, it is true. I really don't look at failures as failures. They're opportunities to grow. They're opportunities to get better. However much money I spend on all my work and all my business needs and everything, when the opportunity came a few weeks ago to renew something, I said, no, I don't need that anymore. I know how to do this by myself. Now, could I have paid someone to do this for me? Of course I could have. But then I wouldn't learn anything about the business and how it works, the admin side of things, the legal side of things. It's good to know these things. Am I right to hand off some of the stuff that I do to someone else? Of course I am. But now that I understand how it works, I understand how it needs to be done, I can hand it off correctly. And to me, that's measurement of success. What I know now to do legally, it took me a year to learn. What I know now to do financially, it took me a year to learn. What I know now how to record something, put it on social media, technologically, AI, anything that I've learned in the last year, I'm able to actually put into work. I'm actually better at it because I spend the time learning how to do it. There's so much more for me to learn, and I'm enjoying that right now. I want to go back to saying, what did I gain in the last year other than knowledge? Contacts, content authority. Networking in the last year has really increased my presence in my community. This show, my other show, Hello Henderson, definitely increased my presence, not just online, but in the community. I've met so many great people. I've met some that are not so great, but also that's another learning opportunity to know who to stay away from and who to continue talking to. And luckily for me, the number of people that I continue to talk to outweigh vastly the ones that I don't want to talk to anymore. I'm talking like almost 10 to 1. So that's another way of growing. That's another measurement of success. The folks I know, the companies I keep, contacts that I continue to talk with. And sometimes I don't have to sell them something. Sometimes they don't have to sell me anything. Sometimes it's good to be around successful people to learn from them so you can emulate what they've done to be successful. And believe me when I tell you that when the time is right for you, when the time is right for me, when it's time for somebody to say, hey, we should talk to someone about a podcast or an on-site podcast or Agile or professional services or certifications or whatever other services I offer, I'm confident that somebody's going to say, we should go talk to Haas from Dead Sprint Radio. Because this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he's doing. So, thank you for allowing me to speak to you. Thank you for allowing me to just be cathartic and have a solo session where I just have self-therapy with my camera and whoever is listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll be back with a few more guests, possibly Brent. He's been busy lately, but I'm sure we can get him back. We'll be wrapping up this season soon because I've learned from last year that since I'm doing a lot on my own, I can do this show in seasons. I can do a few episodes, wrap them up, take a break, and come back again. And that's what I plan on doing. So until next time, this is Haas, and this is Dead Sprint Radio.